ladies and gents. Good to see you this evening. Welcome to Mike Check. My name is Mike McIntyre. I'm Mike Check, and we are here to debate and get it straight. The Mike Check is a show we're going to be doing where we try to discuss the pertinent issues of the community and also nationally. We're going to try to see it from all angles. First of all, we'll give our opinion, and then we're going to try to see it from other people's opinions. We also invite you to call in, go over the internet where you're streaming, and hit us a note. And we'll try to also look at it from your view. Tonight, though, being that it's the holiday season, we're going to lighten things up. And those of you, if you haven't already seen Chris Rock's new movie, Top 5, we're going to kind of pay tribute to that tonight. And we're going to give you a list of our top 5. We're going to go through a list of different type of topics and give our top 5. And so we'll probably be debating back and forth, but we're going to get it straight. Again, we debate and get it straight. And so join in with us, give us some of your ideas, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to turn over to Mike Jet so he can give us some opening statements, and then we get started.
While we're doing our top 5, you can feel free to post your own top 5s on Facebook or under the link to the Uncle Wolf Show. You can also call in if you feel like we put somebody in the top 5 that didn't deserve to be here. It's nothing to change. But we'd like to hear your opinion anyway.
Sounds good. So let's get started. We'll get right into things here. We're going to go with our first top 5. We're going to start with actors. A lot of actors, people watch movies. We see actors all the time. Hollywood is big in the American culture. So let's see what the Mikes think about their top 5. So I'm going to let you go first on actors. I'll let you give me your top 5 list.
Well, my top 5, at number, I'll start from the bottom up. I'll start from 5, and I'll go up to 1.
Sounds good.
At number 5, I have Robin Williams.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Morgan Freeman. Number 3, I had Tom Hanks. Number 2, I had Jamie Foxx. And number 1, I had Denzel Washington.
Okay. So if we're going to make a top 5 here, let's write this down. You can help us. Whatever we come to consensus on, we'll put that in the top 5. And so the Mike Check show will have a top 5 in one of these categories. What we can agree on. If it might be, sometime might be a top 3. We'll make it the floor to consensus. So right off the bat, let me go to my top 5. My top 5, I'm going to go from the top down to the bottom. My top is Denzel Washington. So we know Denzel's number 1 because he was your number 1. He's my number 1. So Denzel Washington out there. If you guys think Denzel should be on this top 5, then we're okay. But right now we got to the number 1. My next one's Forrest Whitaker. I don't believe you had him on the top 5. No. Okay, so Forrest Whitaker's my number 2. Number 3 is Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio's my number 3. My number 4 is Samuel L. Jackson. And my number 5 is Al Pacino. So Denzel was the only guy we had that we came through. Now what I did was I put a couple of honorable mentions I'm going to go through. One is Don Cheadle. Next one is Idris Elba. Tom Hanks. You said Tom Hanks, correct?
Yeah.
So I think we can say Tom Hanks, we can agree, should be in the top 5. If we want to have a consensus top 5. After Tom Hanks, I had in my honorable mentions Jack Nicholson, and Gene Hackman. So let's go from here. You give me one of yours that we didn't go over and fight for him. We'll see if we can get him on the list.
Well, one that sticks out to me right off the bat is Robin Williams. Robin Williams had a long career. He played a lot of different types of roles. He was just a real diverse actor. He had strong characters. He had funny characters. He had sympathetic characters. He played little kids. He played old men. He played artificial intelligence. He was just a real diverse, good actor, a great comedian, and he has a huge body of work, and I respect his body of work.
So let's go this way. You think body of work is one of the things we should judge on? Diversity, versatile, an artist is going to be able to give us sympathy, give us drama, give us passion. The different, play a good guy, play a bad guy, play the victim, play a villain, what have you. So I agree with that. Versatility is a big one. Body of work. And of course, talent. Outright talent, in other words, whatever he's doing, he does it well. And then let's go with successfulness. Well, let's go with productivity. Meaning, does he sell? Does he have movies that people go see? Again, these can be ranked gave it a certain amount of strength. I wanted to at least set up, set a standard for us to go by. So you came up with Robin Williams. I'm going to throw back at you Forrest Whitaker. I like Robin Williams. I think you were right. I think you're right about him. What I think about Robin Williams is that when you said what you said about him, as in everything we're going to do tonight, I think there's a whole bunch that fit that category. What I want to know is he the best of everybody that fits that category. Okay, so what do you think about Forrest Whitaker? I think Forrest Whitaker's versatility is ridiculous. I think his talent is ridiculous. I think his body of work, obviously he's an Oscar winner for his portrayal in the movie King of Scotland, I believe it was.
The Last King of Scotland.
Last King of Scotland, where he played Idi Amin, I believe is who he played. No? Yeah, I think that's who he played. Ugandan king from Uganda. And so I'm looking at Forrest Whitaker in that realm. So let's put them to the side. I'm not quite ready to give you Robin Williams. I don't know if you want to give me Forrest Whitaker or not. The great debaters where Forrest Whitaker was in. Even though he's got a big body of work, but when you look at his The Butler, I thought it was just such an outstanding performance because he did a lot of what he portrayed in that was silent. His facial expressions, his eyes. Forrest Whitaker is very good with his emotions, not even saying a word a lot of times. So, and Denzel's good at that. I think that would bring Denzel as the top of that list because he's able to do that. Give me another one. Throw out another one that you gave.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. I'm gonna give you Morgan Freeman. His body work is impeccable. He's probably one of those guys like Samuel who's been doing it for forever. He's probably got 300 movies under his belt. So I'll give you Morgan Freeman. Why Morgan Freeman too?
Well, I'll give you Forrest Whitaker because I don't want to talk about Samuel.
Why don't you want to talk about Samuel?
I'm just going to leave.
Why don't you want to talk about Samuel?
Fifi taught me that if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
So I assume you don't want to talk about Samuel because of Django Unchained.
No, not because of Django. Not per se. I mean, just a lot of just hating and things that Samuel does about other people from different genres of entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Switching over into acting, and he doesn't really like it.
I see.
I just don't understand.
Okay, so that's fine. So we got then give us both of them, Whitaker and Freeman. What we'll try. We got one more spot. What would I need to do to convince you about Al Pacino?
I'll tell you what we can do. We got our listeners here, and they've got all my list of names. Like the ones that we didn't agree on are Jamie Foxx and Robin Williams off of my list, and
Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Pacino
on your list. So out of those four, give us one. We'll take votes and you give us one guy.
Perfect. We're going to move on. I'm going to start the next list of actresses, and I'll go first. Actresses: Sally Field, Cicely Tyson, Meryl Streep, Angela Bassett, and Jodie Foster. So your list. Let's hear our list.
Actually, I didn't do a list for actresses.
I didn't do a list for actresses.
No, I'm not educated enough about actresses.
Okay.
Just on an acting answer.
Right.
To really give qualified answers. It's something that I would probably need a week to even review movies that I like and actresses that had leading roles or supporting roles in those movies.
You said you need a week?
So yeah.
Okay, you got a minute. Let me give you another couple names that was on my list. Kate Winslet, Viola Davis was on the list. Some other people who I thought that could have made the list that I looked at was Octavia Wilson, played in The Help along with Viola Davis. I don't know if you've seen The Help.
Yeah.
You have Jodie Foster, of course. She played in her famous role was way back in the movie
I can't think of it right now. But
Now, Viola Davis in The Help, is that the main character?
Viola Davis is the main character. Actually, both her and Octavia. Octavia was the heavy set one. Viola was the other one.
Yeah, Viola.
Yeah.
Because
So
Viola
she's-
was always also Antoine Fisher's mom.
Yes, this is correct.
James Brown's mother.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Angela Bassett, we already said. Kate Winslet, she played in the Titanic as the lead female actress. She's played in some other movies that may not be as famous, but a heck of an actress. You have Demi Moore's. You have the oh man, I tell you, I can't think of some names. But what we'll do is we'll skip that, come back to that, and that way we can I can look up some stuff maybe on the computer while we're talking with the audience. Same thing on females. Give us one. We'll come to a consensus. A female actress that we may not have named already, but what your choice is, and if we can get that from you, we'll add that to the list, and that'll mean we only need 4 as far as a consensus. Let's move on to the next category. I'll let you lead off. It's rappers.
Okay.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Top 5 rappers. Again, I'm going to go from the bottom up.
Okay.
At number 5, I have Mos Def. Number 4, I have Tupac. Number 3, I have Eminem. Number 2, I have Black Thought from the Roots. And number 1, I have Jay-Z.
Okay. All right, my list from top to bottom. Tupac. No, I'm sorry. Rakim. Rakim number 1, 2 is Tupac. Number 3 is Biggie. Number 4 is LL Cool J, and number 5 is Eminem. And so from your list and my list, looks like you can go ahead and start a list here. Looks like we can add
We can put Tupac at number 1.
Tupac at number 1,
And Eminem at number 2.
and we can put Eminem at number 2 for now. Well, and again, they don't necessarily have to be that order, but that's the order we're going to put them in. Okay, now, I had another list, honorable mention, and on that list was Jay-Z, KRS-One, Chuck D, and Method Man. And so because Jay-Z is on my list and he was on your list, let's add Jay-Z to that list.
Now that leaves us a spot for 2.
Yes.
I'm going to give you Rakim.
Okay, so we got Rakim on there.
I just can't make an argument to put Black Thought and Mos Def on the list instead of Rakim.
Okay. So that's 4. So we're going to let the audience pick from KRS-One, Chuck D, Mos Def, Black Thought, Biggie, LL, and that's it. Unless they want to add somebody, get a consensus on somebody else from them. Looking at the list, I'm thinking Biggie's going to get in. Let me ask you this. Nas. I hear a lot of people talk about Nas.
Well,
In various realms too, they talk about Nas, and it's not that I don't like Nas at all. It's not like I haven't heard songs I like of his, but they always put him as like in the top 5. What do you think that's about?
well, it's his delivery, it's his lyrical content, it's his flow. Like Nas is really, really nice.
Okay,
You know what I mean? He's real, and that's kind of like I would give somebody Nas
right.
because what Nas does is some of the reasons that I picked Mos Def and Black Thought.
Okay,
You know what I mean? They're not really commercial favorites,
Right.
but they're nice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's something that's lost in hip hop today. You know what I mean? Like you don't really have to be nice anymore.
You don't have to be nice. I agree with that. I tell you what, I listen to some Wu-Tang, and I really don't understand how they don't get the credit that I think they should get deserved within the rap industry. I believe they brought something to rap at a time that rap needed it, and I thought that they're very underrated. As you said, their delivery, their lyrical content, their production. I mean, everything about what Wu-Tang did, I thought was very underrated. I mean, I don't think there's no rap groups like that.
No, they don't have a rival.
Yeah, there's no rival for them, and I think that I think what'll happen, you'll see maybe 10, 15 years down the road, you'll watch a BET Awards or you'll watch a music Soul Train Award or something, and they'll be honoring Wu-Tang for a lifetime achievement award, and probably at that time you'll start to see other people, Rolling Stone, the Grammy, maybe not the Grammys as much, but a segment of it start to say, hey, this is historical. Because how many rap groups have there been? 10, 15 that you can name?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not going to labor with that too long because
Okay.
we got a lot to get through.
Good deal. Let's go to the next category. You take it.
Again, we got female MCs.
Okay.
I'm going to start from the bottom up.
Okay.
Number 5, I got Nicki Minaj. Number 4, I got MC Light. Number 3, I got Lil Kim. Number 2, I got Foxy Brown. And at the top, all hail the queen, Latifah.
Okay. I'm gonna take my list, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. No, let's go top to bottom. MC Light, Queen Latifah, the Lady of Rage, Afro Puffs. Then we got Da Brat and Money Love. Moni Love. Sorry about that. Moni in the middle. And so from the list, look like we got MC Light,
Queen Latifah.
and Queen Latifah. We got a consensus on those two. I'm going to give you off the rip. Give her due, Nicki Minaj. I'll give you Nicki Minaj. I didn't have her on my list. I had also a honorable mention. I had Missy Elliott. I had Salt and Pepper. I had Lauryn Hill, and I had Left Eye. And so I like yours also. So I wanted to give you Nicki Minaj to be with Queen Latifah and MC Light.
And I'll tell you what, I did. If I had a 6th spot, I would have put Lauryn Hill there. So I'll give you Lauryn Hill.
Let's go.
I don't want to talk about Left Eye. I don't know what that is.
I can appreciate that, and like you said, we got a lot to get through, so we're not going to belabor on that. But hey, there's something to be said for improper. Well, no, let's go from there. Next one, I'm going to lead this next category, and we're going to shift from entertainment, at least in the arts, to sports. And let's start off with football. We're going to name the top 5 linebackers, and I'm going to go start first with the top to the bottom. I've got Lawrence Taylor, Mike Singletary, Ray Lewis, Junior Seau, and Jack Lampert.
Okay. Well, my list is similar to yours, but I'll start from the bottom up. At number 5, I got Mike Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, I got a guy that you left out, and that's up for discussion. I got Derrick Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I got Junior Seau.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I got Lawrence Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, I got Ray Lewis.
Okay. So we basically got a consensus. No, wait, did you say Junior Seau?
I said Junior Seau.
Okay, so we
I
got
think
4.
you said Jack Lambert.
Yes.
Jack Lambert, and I didn't have Jack Lambert. I had Derrick Brooks instead.
Right. So we got 4 already.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple others. I had Derek Thomas. I had Jack Ham, and I had Dick Buckets. So we'll let the fans give us that 4th one. Go ahead and write down those 4.
Just know that that's going to really be hard for me to put somebody on that list whose name is Dick Butt Kiss.
Well, let me say this. There must have been a lot of people saying that to him because he was doing some hard hitting.
Yes, he was.
He was doing some hard hitting. Next, that was a good one. We had 4 right off the rip.
Yeah.
And we probably could have agreed on the 5th one. I would have had no problem with Derrick Brooks, nor I bet you wouldn't have had no problems with Derek Thomas. So we probably could, or Lampert, we probably could have came to a consensus. But we're going to let the fans give us our 5th as we did the other one. So next group is going to be, you'll start us off with that, and that's going to be quarterbacks. Top 5 quarterbacks.
This time I'm going to go from the top down.
Okay.
Number 1, I got Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I got Tom Brady. Number 3 is Peyton Manning. Number 4 is Dan Marino. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't pick at number 5, Warren Moon.
Okay. Who was your number 1?
Joe Montana.
Okay. You can write down for the consensus, because there's my list without who he said. Dan Fouts. So our argument is Dan Fouts and Joe Montana right now. I also had Favre and Elway listed. So let's go with Marino, Moon, Brady, and Manning. Yeah, Warren Moon. Warren Moon. Actually, Warren Moon and Dan Marino, to me, prototypical quarterbacks. If you was going to draw one and he was going to perform and you'd watch it would be Dan Marino and Warren Moon. Warren Moon threw the prettiest ball ever. Him and Dan Fouts. They perfect spirals, touch. They had arms. They had deep accuracy. They just really threw. They were throwers of the ball. Marino, Moon, and Dan Fouts. Peyton Manning, tactician. Brady, to me, is just the bulldog. He's going to win. He's a winner. Then you got guys like Elway and Favre, who I feel are athletic guys, physical quarterbacks, meaning they'll force the ball in there. They'll run. They'll dive. They'll chew somebody out. They'll get the drive in the cold or in the mud. You know, they're that type of guys. And to me, to make you upset, I think Joe Montana, in my opinion, is the most overrated quarterback because he's always in the top 5 and he's always sometime even in the top 3. And I think he's overrated due to the people around him. I think he's no better than Staubach nor Bradshaw, and neither one of them get near the credit he gets.
I see. I'm a Steeler fan, as everybody can see.
Right.
But I think Terry Bradshaw was garbage. I think he was the. I mean, he played he had a lot of Hall of Fame players. When you want to talk about the people around him,
Right?
With Franco Harris
And so
Lynn
did Staubach.
Swann and Joe Stallworth.
And so did Staubach.
Yeah.
And so did Montana.
I don't think Montana had the defensive Hall of Famers that the other guys had.
Well, I think Joe Montana had the best secondary out of any of them. And I think Haley is in the top 5, one of the top 5 defensive linemen, possibly. I mean,
but is Haley with Montana or is he with Aikman?
Again, he played with both of them, so he's still that caliber of a player. And he played with the Romanowskis and the Ronnie Lotts and the Wrights and the Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? There was a lot of guys. Well, maybe Montana didn't play with.
Romanowski?
Maybe they might have been with Steve Young.
Steve Young.
They might have been with Steve Young. But I can't give you the names, but them 49ers defenses were stout. And again, now, like you said, Hall of Famers, you might be right. On the defensive side of the ball, there's probably more Hall of Famers from the Steelers, of course. But again, with Montana, on his offense, with the Roger Craigs of the world and the Jerry Rices and the John Taylors, I just think and with Montana, his guys was with him almost all the way through his career. You have Brady and the Mannings and those guys and the Marinos who outlasted people, had to come in and they still had to perform with new people. And so again, that we can get off this subject, but I just wanted to say that to the fans out there, to the viewers out there, when they want to get our 4th pick, we're talking about Montana, Fouts, Elway, Favre are the people that we have on our list they can choose from. Let's go to the next one. What's the next list? You can start.
Next one is running backs.
Here we go.
Running backs. Again, I'll start from the bottom and work my way to the top.
Okay.
At number 5, I have Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Eric Dickerson.
Okay.
Number 3 is O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
Number 2 is Barry Sanders. Mm-hmm. And number 1, I got Jim Brown.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this one. Oh no, we don't. No, we're not. We're not gonna talk about it too much. We have consensus, so we can go. My list from the top down: Dickerson, Jim Brown, Peyton, Peterson, and Sanders. I was surprised we both had Peterson, but that we're thinking of the same level. So go ahead and write these down. These 4. We're going to go with Dickerson, Jim Brown, Peterson, and Sanders. Now, I'm going to head this off to our viewers. Don't be writing, talking about how could we leave out Emmitt Smith because he's the leading rusher of all time. Again, what I do think when I looked at it, and I don't know if you did, Mike Jett, is I started to notice that really we had a lot of guys who kind of were similar. They might have played at a different time, but they kind of did the same things. The guy I left off of the list that you put on was O.J. Simpson. He would have been the first guy that I would have put on there, 6. The guy that I didn't have was Peyton. I think I left Emmitt Smith off because I thought Peyton was Emmitt Smith. I thought they were similar type of runners. I thought that Adrian Peterson was like a Bo Jackson that didn't get to finish his career. I felt that Jim Brown was like an Earl Campbell, somebody who was powerful. Even when you get into the Bettises and the Jamal Lewises, guys were physical runners but could also break loose. Obviously, Jim Brown might have been a little faster than those guys. But that's how I looked at that. The other guy that I had on the list other than that was Marshall Faulk. But those are the type of guys that's left on the list for our viewers to vote for.
My formula is a little different. It's a little simpler.
Okay.
When I'm comparing guys, and the way Emmitt Smith couldn't make my list,
Right.
is I just simply said, I'm Adrian Peterson, you're Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
If I put you in my shoes and I take your position, will you be successful as me?
Right.
Will I be as successful as you? When I look at Adrian Peterson, I look at Emmitt Smith. I say yes to Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
I say no to Emmitt Smith.
Right.
When I look at Eric Dickerson,
Mm-hmm.
I say yes to Eric Dickerson. I say no to Emmitt Smith.
Yes.
And the list goes on. And to the tune of, I might consider moving Barry Sanders up,
Mm-hmm.
because when I put him in somebody else's shoes
Mm-hmm.
and them in his, the answer is almost going to always be no for them and always yes for him.
Okay.
You know, so
Well, I can't see a system that Adrian Peterson couldn't do well in. I mean, he's just, to me, him and Eric Dickerson are the Bo Jackson type guys that if you could have seen Bo Jackson run. Now, Barry Sanders, I kind of put him in category with really Gale Sayers and O.J. Simpson were alike, and I put Sanders in that kind of elusiveness, stop, cut back, just beautiful runners in open field. Beautiful runners in open field. And with the ability to go between the tackles, because they can find the hole and do that. But they set themselves apart in traffic, and they're just pretty to watch. Like I talked about your quarterbacks throwing a pretty ball. If you drew up a back that you wanted to watch, it'd be O.J. Simpson. It'd be somebody like a Gale Sayers, and it would be somebody like a Barry Sanders. They were exciting runners.
Well, we got those 4.
Yes.
I will let them pick the 5th one no more.
All right. Going next to
We got basketball players.
basketball players. We probably going to spend some time on this, but I'll go first. Top to bottom. Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and LeBron James. And there was a scratch there, somebody else there before I put LeBron. I put LeBron on there. You go.
I got Michael Jordan,
Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, LeBron James.
So we got 3. No, we got 4. We got 4. So go ahead and write Jordan, Kareem, Magic, and LeBron. Now, obviously, this is probably the most controversial spot here because in basketball, you probably got a lot of guys that fall in that. I could say the number 2 spot all the way down, but that's really, to me, it's the number 3 spot all the way. 3 to 10. There's probably 7 guys that can be put in there for somebody's reason. The guys that we didn't put in, but we had 4, only 2 guys we didn't. You gave me Russell, and I gave Shaq. And then the other guys, honorable mention, the guys everybody knows, I'm sure, which would be Elijah Wan, Bird, Barkley, Kobe. Bird. Those would be probably the guys that come next.
I think
Oscar Robertson.
I think Will Chamberlain's better than all those guys.
Will Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson. Now let me say this. Yes, I could see that, but they're kind of you're kind of not that it means anything, but we're trying to come up with a list, trying to get everybody the you're duplicating to me with Shaq and Will, and my point is almost like Kobe with Jordan. Even though believe me, I'm not saying that Kobe is that level because I don't believe he is. A lot of people do, but when you got them guys, you're kind of duplicating. So I want to get some different people in there. For instance, Oscar Robertson. The reason Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to me is 1 and 2 with Michael Jordan is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was unstoppable, kind of like Michael Jordan was when it came to championships. Bill Russell fits to me into the category of the Montana that we talked about. His surrounding was so good. I don't believe if you put him in those other people's shoes, I don't think he wins like he won. Michael Jordan wins on any team you put him on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wins on any team you put him on, in my opinion. So Bill Russell to me, I think his fame came because he stopped Wilt. Because when Wilt came and everybody thought he was unbeatable, the Celtics was able to beat him because Russell was able to at least contain him. But if you look at the numbers that Chamberlain had against Russell, he didn't stop him. So again, I mean, I think that to me, it's kind of like Bill Russell was the Muhammad Ali to the George Foreman.
Well, to me, it wouldn't come down to Jordan and Russell or Kareem and Russell. To me, it would come down to Shaq and Russell. And I think Shaq is much like Russell in that he needed great players around him in order to be successful too. He was the best one, but when he was in Orlando, he just couldn't get it done. He didn't have enough. When he went to LA, he had a little bit better supporting cast, a little deeper, I would say, a little deeper, a little bigger, and a little better. You know what I mean? As Kobe grew, they became a force.
Right, I'd agree with you there.
Because Kobe Bryant is better than every player that he had in Orlando.
Right. Now, see, I disagree with that. I think Shaq, more than any of these guys on the list, doesn't fit that because he was at 3 different places and he was to the NBA Finals with all them first 3 places with different people. You know what I mean? Like with people that ain't on this list and might not be on the list 20, 25 down when he was at Orlando, and he was still in the championship against somebody that could be on this list 10 down as far as Olajuwon goes. Then he went with the Lakers, and again, it was younger Kobe, and they still was in the finals. He goes to Miami, and yes, Dwayne Wade was out of this world, but that's only 2 guys. I don't know that that's a gimme. I don't know that you automatically win with just 2 guys because that's really all.
He didn't lead that team to the championship.
No, well, he helped the assist, but without him, they weren't going to do it.
There's a guy like that on every team.
This is true.
Every guy we got.
Right, exactly.
The guy's a guy on every
But
team.
this is my only thing is we know that Shaq did it with different teams. We don't know Russell could do it with different teams. That's why I was
been
thinking.
doing that in 13 years and did 11 times. I mean, I don't know why he would go to another team. I mean, he would let him go to another team.
Yeah, wow. Hey, as I said, he played with 4 Hall of Famers. I don't know anybody on that list that played with 4 Hall of Famers.
Maybe Magic Johnson.
3. Kareem. Worthy. That might be it. McAdoo would probably be a Hall of Famer, but they didn't play together.
Aaron Scott.
I don't think he ain't in the Hall of Fame. Cooper would get it, I think, before him, but I don't think he's going to make it. Jamal Brooks, I don't think he's going to get in. Yeah, in my opinion, that's just, but you guys pick the other ones. We're going to move on from that one. What's the next one? We've got baseball players. This shouldn't take long because, to me, pretty easy. We might have some call-ins here.
Baseball players.
Go ahead.
I'll start from the top and work my way to the bottom. Number 1 is a no-brainer to me. Say what you will. Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player that ever lived. Number 2, I got Willie Mays. Number 3, I got Hank Aaron. 4, I got Dwight Gooden. Number 5, I got Ted Williams.
Number 5, got Ted Williams. Okay, I'm gonna go top to bottom. Bones, Mays, Aaron, Mantle, and Williams. What was yours again? One more time. I didn't catch all yours.
Well, I didn't have Mickey Mantle, and I had Dwight Gooden.
Okay, so we had 4 together.
We had 4 together.
Pretty easy. Go write them down. Bonds, Mays, Mantle, Williams. You had Gooden. I had.
You had Mantle. We both had
Aaron, right? Aaron, right? I had Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle. So this is who you guys are going to choose from, viewers. Mickey Mantle, Dwight Gooden, and then these are my also rans to think about. Could have been in there easily. Griffey, Pete Rose, Satchel Paige, and Babe Ruth. Now that Babe Ruth, police fans don't give me Babe Ruth. That's like giving me, which we didn't do, we'll do next time we do this. We didn't do boxing, but that'd be like giving me Rocky Marciano ahead of Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. Yes, he was a good fighter. Yes, he was undefeated. Yes, for his era and the guys he fought, he was much better than them. But he's farther down on the list of very, very good or great if the great list is a large list. Yes, Marciano was on it, and yes, Babe Ruth would be on it. But Babe Ruth basically didn't fight nobody. Like Babe Ruth wasn't hitting against guys that could throw the ball like these other guys were throwing it, and he was pitching and hitting and pitching 2 days in a row. Stuff that ain't supposed to be able to happen unless you're playing against somebody sorry. So I'm gonna leave that there, and then we'll go to the next one. Where we at? So we go from baseballs. We went from baseball players. Now we're gonna get into some singing, get into some good stuff here. We're gonna go to R&B groups. 5 greatest R&B groups of all time. And I guess I'll start that one off. I'm gonna go with the Isley Brothers, the Temptations, New Edition, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and the OJs. What's your list?
I got Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Isley Brothers, Mays featuring Frankie Beverly. I had a tie at number 4. I didn't know what to do with that, but between Success and traditional bands.
Okay.
So I had Mint Condition / Boyz II Men.
Okay.
And at number 5, I had You Wouldn't Be From Wild If You Didn't Sing the OJs.
Okay. So we got 3. We got Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and the OJs. So go ahead and write them 3. Now we gotta figure out the Temps, New Edition, Boyz II Men, and Mint Condition.
And Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Frankie Beverly. Let me say this. If I was the viewers out there and I had that list, I would vote for Mays. But I think it's hard to have a list like this and not put the Temptations on it.
Well, I'll tell you what we
Even if
do.
it's just for traditional purposes, as you said, I think we got to go with the. In my opinion, I think we should try to go with the Temps. I mean, the Mays and some of the other guys. Just to let you guys know that you can choose from the Whispers, the Dramatics, Sly and the Family Stone, and then the Supremes and TLC. I want to give the women group some loves, but so that's my take on that. Out of those, you tell me who you want out of those. I'm gonna take the Temps. Who do you want?
I would have to take Mays.
Okay, let's go to the next level. If those 2 was already in, who would you go after that with those big teams, those ones that we talked about? New Edition, Whispers, Dramatics, Sly and the Family Stone, Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men.
I think Boyz II Men imposed like this, they get a bad deal because they became so commercial.
Yeah.
But
they got.
It was just because they were so great at what they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, because they got the all-time highest selling song or album,
Mm-hmm.
and a number song on the top 10 of
End of the road.
And yeah, so so I mean, I'm gonna have to knuckle down and give you. We're gonna have to come to a consensus on either Mays or the Temps.
Let's table that and get back to it. Let's table that.
I mean, I hate to act like I'm fighting against Mays. I'll give you Mays. We'll give Mays. Put Mays at number
You
one.
know what? Then we can just lock it up and we can do
Mays and the Temps.
and the Temps.
Let's do Mays. That sounds good. So put Mays and the Temps on there, and we got it wrapped. Mays and the Temps.
And then we'll argue about our next five. You know what I mean? Because right there, we're good. That takes us. After we go with the R&B groups, now we go with male singers. I'll go first. Where am I at with it? Oh, there we go. All right, I got. Starting with number 1 is Luther Vandross. Number 2, Marvin Gaye. Number 3, Al Green. Number 4, Stevie Wonder. And number 5, I went with Sam Cooke.
Okay. Well, we got two in common.
Okay, who you got?
Number 1, I got Marvin Gaye.
Okay,
Number 2, I got Stevie Wonder.
okay,
Number 3, I got Donny Hathaway.
okay.
Number 4, I got Ray Charles. Number 5, I got Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Okay, so we got 2. So we got Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Donna Hathaway, Ray Charles, Michael Jackson. I had Ingram. What's his first name? Shoot.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about him since we don't even know his first name.
Oh, I know his
I
name.
know his first name, James.
James Ingram, yeah, James Ingram. So we gotta get a consensus here. See, we only got 2 the same. Okay, so yours was Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, and Donny Hathaway. Mine was Sam Cooke, Al Green, and Luther Vandross.
I think we could put Luther in.
Luther's in. I like that one. Luther's in. And then I think I'll give you Michael Jackson for sure. Michael Jackson is in.
So now our debate's going to be between
Hathaway, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, and Al Green.
what do you do about that?
Well, that's 4. No. We still got that's okay. That's only 3.
We got 4. And we got 4 left. We got 1 spot. But you know what? Let's move on. Too much dead air.
Too much dead air. Fans, what do you think? Give us some call. I had a couple calls in, but they wanted to kind of go off tangent what we were talking about, so I didn't answer. But give me a call. Give Jed a call if you're watching. Give us a little text or something. We're gonna go on to the next one. Females. Female singers. You go first.
I'll go.
Yes,
I
sir.
have Patti LaBelle,
Mm-hmm.
Shaka Khan,
Shaka Khan.
Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, Mary J. Blige.
Baker. Whitney Houston. So you had LaBelle, Blige, Baker, Houston, and Shaka Khan. Mine is top to bottom: Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Mary J. Blige, and I had Mariah Carey. No doubt I'll give you Whitney Houston. So we've got LaBelle, Blige, and Houston. You got to give me the Queen of Soul.
I'll give you Aretha.
So we got Aretha Franklin, we got Patti LaBelle, we've got Mary J. Blige, and we got Whitney Houston. That leaves Gladys Knight, Mariah Carey, Shaka Khan,
And Anita
Baker. I think so. That's 4. We got 4 then.
We got 4.
Okay, so that's who you guys got to pick from. I had some other people. I had Beyonce, Janet Jackson. I had Alicia Keys and Adele on that list.
All right.
So let's move on.
4, let's move
The
on.
next group, next one is male entertainers, which is the only reason why I didn't have Michael on my first list. So I'm gonna go first. I had Michael Jackson, James Brown, Elton John, Prince, and Stevie Wonder.
See, my idea about entertainment was a little different.
Go ahead.
I didn't pick as many singers.
Go ahead.
I went for talent,
Okay.
and I got Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
He was an actor, singer, and comedian.
Okay.
I got Bernie Mac.
Okay.
I got Richard Pryor.
Okay.
I got Eddie Murphy,
Okay.
and I got Frank Sinatra.
Okay. You guys got that? These are entertainers. Michael Jackson, James Brown, Jamie Foxx, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Elton John, Prince, Eddie Murphy, Stevie Wonder, and Frank Sinatra. We're going to leave that list like it is, because we had a little mix up on what we were really thinking of. And so I can't argue with any of those. There'd be some other people I might put down on that list. I would have probably put Chris Rock before I put Bernie Mac. And I probably would have put, I like Frank Sinatra, but believe it or not, I might have put our own Dean Martin before Frank Sinatra, believe it or not. Now, I'll say Frank Sinatra has the bigger fan base, but Dean Martin was talented. I've seen a lot of things he did, the movies that he played in.
Singing, acting, he had his own variety show.
Yeah, so, but in any way, all them guys are A1. So that's a good list there. So you guys can play with that list and send us in something if you want to. Let's go on to the next list, female entertainers. So I'll go with my list, you go with yours. You might have did the same thing, I presume. Female entertainer, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Tina Turner, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige.
Well, I got Lauryn Hill, Beyonce, J-Lo, Maya Angelou, Della Reese.
Maya Angelou. Lauryn Hill, Della Reese, Maya Angelou, Beyonce, and who?
J-Lo.
Oh, J-Lo. Oh, yeah. I like J-Lo. I would have took off possibly Mariah. Took off probably Mariah Carey and put J-Lo on there. And I really like Maya Angelou also. And I would have probably taken off Mariah Carey. And I like Janet, Beyonce, Tina, Maya Angelou. Actually, I like Lopez a lot. J-Lo. So there's our list for the female entertainers. We're going to move right along, and we're going to get to greatest songs. Greatest songs. 5 greatest songs.
Well, I think we did the songs, 5
Black
greatest songs with a black theme.
There we go.
And I'll go first. I had number 1. I had "Change Gonna Come" by Sam Cooke. Number 2, I had "Black and Proud" by James Brown.
Okay.
Number 3, I had "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy. Number 4, "Sinzeni-Na." I'll explain that. I'll get right back to that in a minute. And number 5, I had "Black Brother" by Angie Stone.
Okay.
"Sinzeni-Na," my number 4, is a song that they sung in volumes in South Africa during apartheid.
Oh, okay.
"Sinzeni-Na" means "What have we done?" What have we done? And they were singing to the oppressors, singing about what have we done. Our only sin is that we are black. "Sinzeni-Na," what have we done? So I think that was a pretty powerful song that fits in the theme. It's not as popular as the rest, but it's very powerful. And if you hear it, it'll catch you and take you right away.
And say that again.
"Sinzeni-Na."
Sinzeni-Na. Okay. My 5 is "My Girl," "I Believe I Can Fly," "What's Going On," "Change Is Gonna Come," and "End of the Road." And so, due to time, we're going to move right on. We're not going to argue with those. I kind of like your picks. I think my picks is pretty good. I think we had some reasoning for picking them. "End of the Road" because of its commercial value of what it's done. "My Girl" because everybody knows it. "Change Is Gonna Come" is automatic. We both agreed on that one.
The blue juice is ready to
Let's go to the next, which would be
Motion pictures.
go.
My top 5 motion pictures, I like "Shawshank Redemption,"
Mm-hmm.
The Color Purple,
Mm-hmm.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou,
Mm-hmm.
The Wiz, and The Matrix.
I like The Wiz. My top 5: The Godfather, The Butler, The Great Debaters, Malcolm X, and Forrest Gump. If you like those, some others that I had written down was 10 Commandments, 12 Years a Slave, The Wiz, The Wizard of Oz, Boys in the Hood. Let's go on. The next one was comedies.
Comedies, I'll let you go first.
Harlem Nights, Money Pit, Airplane, Life, House Party.
I also had Harlem Nights with The Hangover, The Kings of Comedy,
There we go.
Norbit, and Half Baked.
Nice. Nice picks.
Let's move
Next.
right along.
Let's go with some black theme pictures. That's why black pictures that, if we put them in order where we think they were. I went with The Butler, Malcolm X, The Great Debaters, New Jack City, and Boys in the Hood.
Okay. We both got Boys in the Hood. I had them at number 5, so I'll go from the bottom up. Boys in the Hood, Friday, Which Way Is Up, Superfly, and at number 1, I had the movie that put a major imprint on my life, The Mac.
Let's go back to sports.
Shaq. That was the 11 team.
Okay.
No, Shaq wasn't on that team.
So it was
I think that
I'm talking about their senior team.
I think
We're talking about seniors.
I think that 11 team actually beat Looney on the field.
And I agree with that. I think though that 11 team, the team that you're saying beat them on the field, when they were seniors, I believe they were. No, you're right. They could have been on this list also, but I believe that team the year before was more talented. They got upset because I thought with Shaq on the team, with Lee and Najee as juniors, was just a better all-around team. They had some other guys.
That team was hurt. I would agree with you if they had a healthy Jesse Bird.
Yeah, Jesse was hurt. That's true. That's true. But they got upset. They got Dover.
Because I think what happened is in the following year, they had an injured Jesse Burton
was replaced by out of the blue phenom into Sean Luke, and Sean Luke was a stud that year.
Right.
House was a man that year.
Yeah, exactly.
Najee Murray was head and shoulders better. And I mean, I think that was just a better team.
Yeah,
I think they had better play from the quarterback position.
Right.
And I think it was just a better team.
Good deal. Not a big argument there. Okay, next we're going to go with. Then we went to the team. Let's go to the best players, best Big Red football players.
All right, I'll go first.
Yep.
I'm gonna start, and this is the first time I ever did this
Okay.
because it's the first time that I really thought about it,
Okay.
and I played it from different perspectives. But my number one is gonna be Charles Hyden.
Okay.
Number two, I got Zach Kalors.
Okay.
Number three, I got Danyasha Yetz.
Okay.
Number four, I got Andre Creech.
Okay.
Number five, I got Buster Tillman.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we thought alike until we got to 4 and 5. I got number one is Chucky Hyten. I got number two is Zach Kalars. I got number three is Danyasha Yetz, Tubbo Yetz, and I got number 4 Dwight Macon, and number 5 Stevie Davis. Now let me give you my honorable mention: Najee Murray, Todd Phillips, Harry Wilson, and of course Jones, Calvin Jones, also on that list. Give me your rationale. We need to. I got Macon and Davis. You got Creech and Tillman.
Well, to me, Andre Creech is non-negotiable
Okay.
because everybody knows Andre Creech as a dynamic quarterback
Okay.
who was dangerous with his arm and with his feet.
Okay.
What most people don't know is that Andre Creech made first team All-State as a safety.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you said Andre Creech made first team All-State, not too many people would argue,
Right.
but they would think he made it as a quarterback.
Exactly.
The fact that he made it as a safety said that he was just an outstanding football player on both sides of the ball. And he didn't just make honorable mentions, he was first team All-State.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I think that I'm several years older than you, maybe a few years older rather, not that many, but I'm a few years older than you. So we were both very young when he was playing. So I don't know how many times you remember seeing him play, but I remember seeing him play because he's not that much older than me. But what I do remember in watching him play is that I've never seen it duplicated on the field nowhere. In all the high school games I've watched and seeing Team Big Red even play, the closest thing to Andre Creech was Naaman Roosevelt for that Buffalo team that came out here, the black quarterback Roosevelt. He ended up being a receiver for Buffalo, I believe, or somebody else, some Division I school. But I've never seen it duplicated. But when he was doing it, it kind of, I think people thought, because it looked like it was Sandlot. It looked like he was running for his life all the time, and so he had to make plays out of no plays. But when you look back at it, he did it so often that that's just how he did them. He was almost like the first Johnny Manziel when Johnny Manziel played for Texas A&M. And so, because I've never seen nobody do that, lets me know how rare that ability he had. And so he's a no-brainer. I'll add him. Now that you said that, I didn't realize, but I do remember him playing safety. But I'll take him. That gives us 4. I'll just go take the white out and put Creech in. Stevie Davis, I felt that Stevie Davis, as a defensive player in the secondary, his instincts and he already had the interception record. He ended up getting an interception record, but his tenacity and his fearlessness in that secondary and his willingness to go get the ball, not caring whether he makes a mistake, to get the ball, set him apart from others. His instincts was far above those that usually play at that level, and so that's why I had him on my list. And that's what he used to do, was not duplicate. He did that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with Stevie Davis any more than I think you could argue with Buster Tillman.
Right.
Buster
I didn't see
Tillman
Buster at all.
Was a top-notch, elite receiver, and he was really an outstanding defensive back also.
Yeah. See, I never seen.
But just the fact that he was recruited by Ohio State,
yeah.
and played.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You know that he's a top-notch athlete.
For sure. Let's go to Big Red basketball players.
Right.
I'm going to go first because I'll let you talk more about this. I played basketball at Big Red. I know something about big basketball, at Big Red, but I know you probably followed. You've seen a lot of the guys after I left the area that I didn't see. I would hear about. But my top five is Troy Smith, Pruitt. Believe it or not, Stevie Phipps, Bill Ross, and Jimmy Mack Wilson. Now I was gonna put. Let me just say this. I was gonna put Corey Banks at 3. The reason I didn't pick Corey Banks is I never seen Corey play. I just heard people say when he did, he just points. He was 3-pointers and he could play, but I never seen him play. I seen Stevie Phipps play. I'd never seen a softer jump shot than his, and he could play. He just was all around like. They didn't do well, but he did well. Every night, and he was consistent too.
It surprises me that you would put the point guard from the class of '86, Jimmy Mack. You would put the shooting guard from the class of '88 in Corey Banks, and you would leave out the go-to guy that played with both of those guys, in Ray Williams. Ray Williams was the leader of that team in '86 and '87, which would be Jimmy Mack's senior year, and also Corey Banks' junior year. The common denominator between those two players was the leader in scoring and rebounding, Ray Williams.
Now let me tell you why. Because if he's on your list, then he's definitely on the list. I just told you I didn't see Corey play. I heard people talk about it, but I've never heard people talk about Ray Williams in that manner, which you just told me. I didn't know those statistics. But you got to realize the common denominator between Jimmy Mack and Troy Smith was I played with both of them. So I know what they could do. And then Jimmy Mack, to me, is almost like playground legend after the fact. So
I wouldn't have an argument putting Jimmy Mack on over one of my other guys,
Right.
which is the captain of my team,
Okay.
Shelton Carney.
right now I hear about Shelton. He's a big man, but I never seen him play. So
Yeah.
so again, what I did was Bill Ross. I never seen play. I hear tell of him.
Well, I also had Bill Ross.
Okay.
Because Bill Ross was the leader of the only team in
Right.
Big Red history to ever play for a state championship.
Exactly.
They didn't win. He was hurt, but he played for a state championship. That's the only team we ever had. He led them, and he was a first-team All-State basketball
Right.
player.
And Pruitt is a consensus. Everybody you talk about Pruitt.
Well, before you had at number 1. When I was growing up, I thought Troy Smith, because at the time I was in high school, Troy
Right.
Smith was the all-time leading scorer in
Right.
boys basketball history. In fact,
Exactly.
all basketball in Big Red until Liz Rapella came along.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought he was the best. But I asked Coach Watt.
Right.
Coach Watt told me he didn't think about it for 3 seconds. He said Brian Pruitt.
Well, let me say this: I never seen Brian Pruitt play, and I could say that same thing. That's what people said. But I asked some other things about. I can't remember who I asked, but I asked about Brian. Like, how was his game? I think the reason Coach Watt said that, I think Brian was more coachable. So I think a coach would easily roll that off. The only reason I say that is that Coach Watt was a lot older.
Let me tell you a story about Brian Pruitt.
Go ahead.
I didn't see Brian Pruitt play in high school either. I saw Brian Pruitt playing after high school
Right.
in adult leagues.
Right.
I was maybe 21 years old,
Right.
and I was playing adult league over in Weirton at the Millsop. Troy Smith was on my team,
Right.
and if I was 21, Troy was probably
26.
25, 26.
Right.
So pretty much in his prime. I think Brian Pruitt may have been,
30.
no, he was older. Brian Pruitt is, 4 or 5 years older than you guys.
So 5, bro.
Yeah.
Now he might be 6 years older.
Yeah. So he was in his 30s.
Okay.
They was calling him old.
Right.
He ain't gonna do nothing. We had T. Gill. We had Mike Ross. We had Eddie Gillison.
Okay.
We had all these guys. We had the young guys and me. We had Elmer.
Right.
We had Malcolm Treadway Shelton. Brian Pruitt in his 30s scored 43 points on us. There was nothing nobody could do. He was dunking. He was hitting threes. He was going by people. He was shooting over top of people. He was getting rebounds. He was blocking shots. There was nothing nobody out there could do with Brian Pruitt.
Okay.
At that point, along with Coach Watt coaching us all and telling me Brian Pruitt was the
Right.
best, it was over for me
Right.
right then and there.
Right.
I believe Coach Watt. But
Right.
Brian Pruitt in his 30s confirmed what I believed,
Right.
and he was better than everybody.
Right. Well, and again, like I said, I'm not arguing with it. I was only going from what I see, and to me, Smitty's will on the court was something that was just, to me, that was just something that you have to
Well,
see.
he was my favorite player growing up.
Yeah.
Pruitt was
Now-
my favorite player.
Now, let me
growing
say
up.
this. And this is not necessarily a knock. He wasn't the best teammate because of that will of wanting to win. He was kind of like when they talk about, if somebody said Jerry Rice was all about winning, that might be say Brian Pruitt. If somebody said Des Bryant is all about winning, that might be true, but it don't look like that's what he's all about. You know what I mean? That's how Smitty was. Smitty was all about winning. Smitty worked hard, but you had to play just like him, or you was getting cussed out.
we got
Go ahead.
three players alike.
Go ahead. Oh, is that all we had was three? Okay.
Yeah, we had Pruitt, Ross, Smith.
Pruitt, Ross,
And,
and Smith.
I had Ray Williams and Sheldon Carney. You had Jimmy Mack.
Phipps.
And Phipps.
I also had, and this is obviously everybody will know why I had this. I had Bobby McIntyre in there. Okay. Now, again, he's my dad, but the first time I knew how good he was playing basketball was probably in the 90s. Wheeling Intelligencer had an all OVAC from way back. And the only two bigger people they had in there was Bobby McIntyre and Bill Ross. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't the only one. They had them in the guards. They might have had Pruitt, but I think they also had Bill Rolich, who was a 6'7" guy back then too, when he played with Ross. But my point was, he was good at basketball. Then later on, to Mr. Watts and actually Ange Vaquero, who actually coached him, and he was older then. And then Buckeye Klein told me about, how good he was and stuff as a sophomore.
I heard school.
And stuff.
I heard he was a guy that wasn't that tall,
Right.
but still played above the rim.
Exactly. So again, those type of things you put in there. So we got three. I'm gonna add. Who didn't I add that you had?
Ray Williams.
I can add Ray Williams or Jimmy Mack, or we can add both of them together and give us 5 with Smith, Pruitt, and Bill Ross.
I'll go with that.
Okay, so we'll go with
I'll take my captain out.
Carney. Well, we can leave it up to the fans. I can agree on either one. I can agree on
I think we were safer with
doing the two.
with Jimmy Mack and Ray Williams.
Okay, we'll go Ray Williams. And Jimmy
I think
Mack.
individually they may have been a little bit
Let me tell you something.
better high school players.
Let me tell you something. I think Jim Mack could go for 60. There was a time when Jim Mack was playing that, like, he's like a Del Curry type
I
shooter.
seen Jimmy Mack. I
Right.
played against Jimmy Mack and with Jimmy Mack. Jimmy Mack was a guy that you had to guard as soon as he crossed half court.
Yes, that's unbelievable. But
And
anyway,
if you got too close, he'd go by you.
yeah, because he played without the 3-point line, and man, and without shooting a lot. But anyway, let's go. We're gonna finish up here with three more. Quickly, we're gonna go baseball players, then we're gonna finish up with Steelers and Buckeyes. We good?
All right, I'll go down my baseball
Go ahead.
list real quick. I'm not very educated in Big Red baseball, but I gave it a shot with what I knew. I got Garrett Jenkins,
Mhm.
Paul Hoover,
Mhm.
Stevie Davis, Curtis Herring, Royal Mayo.
Okay, I got Garrett Jenkins, I got Hoover, I got Justin Banks, I got whichever Morrow was better, Stacy or Benny. And I got Mike Golan, played for years pro ball, so
Mike Goulin
played for Central. Okay, I just know he's from here somewhere. I didn't
He
know if
played for Central.
Okay, so that gives us Hoover and Garrett alike. You said Herring. I had him, Royal Mayo, Nodianis, and Bainbridge as my honorable mentions. So we can add Mayo for sure.
Well, we got to take Goulin out.
Right.
He's a crusader.
Right. We can add Mayo. You had her. Did you have Curtis Herring?
Got Curtis Herring.
Okay, we can add Mayo and Herring. I like Justin Banks, and I heard that from Mayo how good he was. So we'll go with Garrett, Banks, Mayo, Herring, and Hoover.
Fine with me.
Sounds good. Let's go to the next one. 2 more. Steelers.
Top Steelers all time: Rob Woodson, Terry Bradshaw, Big Ben, Hines Ward, Franco Harris. That's who I got.
Bradshaw. Did you say Bradshaw?
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Rob Woodson,
Uh-huh.
Big Ben,
Uh-huh.
Hines Ward,
Uh-huh.
Franco Harris.
Okay. We got 2, Bradshaw and Roethlisberger. I got Mel Blunt, Lambert, and Joe Green. Give me Joe Green, and I'll give you Woodson.
Deal.
And last but not least, the Buckeyes.
You can go first.
Let's start with the Buckeye. Let's start with who's going to win the game, Buckeyes or the Crimson Tide?
I got the Buckeyes.
You got the Buckeyes because that's your team, or you got the Buckeyes?
I got the
because you see
Buckeyes
them being-
because I don't believe in Alabama's defense. They gave up 44 to Auburn. I've never seen Ohio State with a big, strong-arm quarterback like the one we have now.
Okay.
Not lately, ever.
Right.
And we got some athletes out there that can stretch the field.
Okay.
Normally, when we get in games like this, we can't match up athletically with the offense and defense.
Mm-hmm.
We got speed now on defense.
Okay.
We got a explosive offense.
Mhm.
We got athletes everywhere. I think we can beat them.
Okay. I agree with you on everything. I agree with you on everything. What I don't know is I do believe we're going to be tested in our secondary. I don't believe in our secondary. I believe that the last 4 games we won, none of them teams could throw the ball. And I believe that the pressure, when we got enough pressure on downs that we knew that they were going to pass, we were able to get enough pressure and make enough plays. That's what I'm worried about. But again, I agree with everything you said, and I got to go with the Buckeyes myself. So
Our secondary will be tested.
Okay.
We can't guard Amari Cooper because nobody else can, including in the NFL. And but where I think Sims is vulnerable.
good deal.
I think he'll get happy feet. I think we can get some hands on him. And he was right on the brink of being subbed out.
Good deal.
Right towards the end of Alabama season. And I think we can get some hits on him. He'll crumble.
Sounds good. Who's your 5 Buckeyes?
I got Archie Griffin,
Of course.
Eddie George,
Yep.
Joey Galloway,
Oh.
Troy Smith, Terry Glenn.
Okay, we got 2 to like. I had Griffin, Orlando Pace, Eddie George, Spillman the Drillman, and I had Chris Carter. I like Galloway. I had Glenn and Katzenmoyer as my 2 mentions, but I like Galloway. I'm not a real big Troy Smith fan. I know he won the Heisman. I think that was a weak year in my opinion. Even though I'm a Buckeye fan, I just don't really, like you said. I just believe we've been weak at quarterback every single year, and we're still weak at quarterback as far as I'm concerned, as far as NFL quarterbacks. And the reason I say NFL quarterbacks, even though we're talking about college, is because Ohio State is known for producing NFL players forever, and for some reason they don't do that. So
Chris Carter is actually my favorite NFL player of all time.
okay, so,
So
you're
I have
Chris
no
Carter.
problem putting Chris Carter in.
And so that leaves us with Pace, Orlando Pace. I think you got to put a lineman on there as great as Orlando Pace was. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm
that's
gonna
fine.
stick with
Then don't worry about that. What about
my
Drillman?
local.
What about Spillman? We'll put Galloway in.
We agree on Terry Glenn. I got
we
Terry
agree
Glenn
on-
in. You got
like Glenn,
him just,
Glenn better than Galloway?
you got him just out.
I mean, I think Glenn was a better receiver than Galloway myself.
See, I don't.
Yeah, I think.
I don't.
I thought he was a better pro too.
I know. I think.
He had a smaller window because he
I
got
think
hurt and
if
couldn't continue to play.
well, Galloway
Galloway had
suffered
that
with
speed.
a lot of injuries also.
Well, true, but Glenn had that speed too. Glenn was just much small, wasn't as strong, and so he wasn't able to last as long. Glenn, I mean, professional catcher of the ball. I mean, he was something.
Yeah, I would say he had better hands,
Right.
but Galloway's just a bigger, stronger,
Bigger,
faster
speedier, yeah.
guy. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And Spillman, I think he still has the tackling record. I think Spillman.
nah, I don't care about that.
You don't care about Spillman or Katzenmoyer. Huh? Okay, so we got Griffin, George, Carter, and you want to go with Galloway or Glenn? Galloway.
Griffith, George, Carter. We'll go with Glenn because we both mentioned Glenn. You didn't really mention Galloway.
Well, I mean, I can go with Galloway. I forgot about Galloway. Now that you said Galloway, I don't have a problem with Galloway over Glenn.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll put Glenn in, and we'll let the
Okay.
viewers because they're
Okay,
just
we'll go
as
with Glenn.
familiar with Galloway as we are.
Good deal. That's going to wrap up. We're going to finish up with talking about next Wednesday. We're going to be here next Wednesday or not? I don't think we are. You tell me, producer. Are we here next Wednesday? Producer says we're here next Wednesday. Are we here next Wednesday?
Producer said we're here. We're here.
Same time, producer? Okay. I'll have to let you know. Guys, it might not be me. I may take a night off. I gotta let somebody at the house. Don't, I don't really run the house. Somebody else gonna let me know if I can come or not. You know how that goes.
Well, I'll be here. I run mine.
There you go. That's a good thing. So maybe you could stop in and run mine for a night, and I can come out.
I want
and play.
no parts of yours.
No parts of mine. Okay, but if I can come out and play, I'm going to be here. We're going to debate. We're going to get it straight. We're going to have some good dialogue next week, and that will be Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I'm saying. So that's going to be Christmas Eve. So you guys tune in. Something to do on Christmas Eve night. We'll have a good topic for you. Make it type of Christmassy maybe. We'll also make it controversial. Starting next week, the tenor of the show is going to change. We're going to be a little more heated here, and we're going to have some debates, and we want you to chime in because we just want to debate and get it straight. For the Mike Check show, we're off.